Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Can't complain.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on. I'm so glad we got this scheduled and you could, yeah, come on and chat a little bit because I love your content and your account's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I like your content as well, and it was cool that you reached out and set this up. It's actually my first time ever going live here on TikTok, and it's
I'm
really cool.
honored. I'm so honored. So I have a few questions for you. We can just chat a little bit, and then if anyone watching has like other questions, we can also chat more about that. But basically, what I want to start with is just how did you get into this space? Like, clearly, it's a newer thing in the last few years. So, when was your first experience with like NFTs, crypto, Web3 in general?
That's cool. That's a great question. So personally, I got started in this space just like paying attention to it around like last year in the springtime. So I've been like a big Gary Vee fan for a while, and I saw that he was like talking about NFTs. He was launching his own project with V Friends, as well as I was watching like this YouTuber called Journey Crypto,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that he changed his profile picture to like a bored ape back then. So I started paying attention to
Wow.
it, but I never made a move. I was just kind of like hesitant. I didn't know it was like really new, you know. I didn't know like what it was about basically. But then I saw them blow up in like the short amount, like the short period. So that got me like really, really interested, and I started creating my own NFTs and posting my art up as NFTs. I would say like around November, like end of October,
Mm-hmm.
those types of days, and yeah. So just watching their growth really motivated me and really showed me the potential of like this industry, and I like the fact that it was like really new.
Yeah, totally. Wow, good for you for like jumping into something new. That's so awesome. I'm also a big Gary Vee fan for sure. So that's really cool.
Like lots of
Um,
people in the
and
space are
then
like big with Gary Vee.
yeah, totally. So you create your own NFTs, but do you also invest in NFTs as well? Like, do you ever invest in other projects?
Correct. Yeah, I feel like I definitely do a little bit of both. I don't have any like
Mhm.
major like huge blue chips yet or anything like that. I mostly I invest with like just different creators here in the TikTok community and people that I get to see kind of like their journey, and I try to support people as much as I can, and hoping to support even more people like down the line. What about
Yeah,
yourself?
I
Like, how
love
did you get
that.
started in the
So when
space?
it comes to yeah, when it comes to both making your NFT projects and investing, obviously, in other people's NFT projects, what are like really important aspects for you? Is it like a lot about the art, or if it's more about the community or the founders, or what really gets you excited, or what is important to you when it comes to a project?
I would say like it depends on like my goals, what my goals are at the time. I mostly like to invest in people and the people kind of like behind the projects. But I also like, I would like to invest in just like the art. Like I believe like there's a lot of value in just like collecting art in general. I also think like we're at like the forefront of like digital art becoming more and more like bigger. So it's a good
Mhm.
time to pick up those types of pieces and collect them. Also, I'm looking at like metaverse as well as how do you say like domain NFTs are really interesting to me as well.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. I totally agree. It's a lot about, for me, it's like really about the founders because at the end of the day, you are investing in the founders. That's what I always say. So I totally agree with that. But yeah, the art aspect of it too is like just in general, even before NFTs, investing in art, that's always been something that people invest in and something that's really cool to have. So it's just sort of like a new layer added onto that. There's so much
For sure.
amazing stuff going. So it's really, really cool. This is just sort of like a for fun question I've been asking everyone. But if you could have any NFT ever just airdrop to you right now, what NFT would you choose?
If I could have like any of them, I would probably get a V friend. I would say that's been a community that I've seen is like a really strong community wise in the space, and
Mhm.
I like I said, I'm a big Gary Vee fan, and I feel like I missed out in the beginning of it when I was kind of aware of it, but I didn't really want to get in with like that much money at the beginning, and I feel like I missed out on that opportunity. So that would be one
Mhm.
that I would, if I could get like one airdrop, it would definitely be a V
Totally, I agree. That's always my answer too. I'd want to get a V
friend.
friend
Right.
because seems I've been a Gary Vee fan for a while, but I sort of even though I was in kind of the crypto space, it took me a while to get into the NFT space. Weird enough, I was just sort of like not putting my time in to learn about it. And yeah, I was a little bit late to the game, but I'm in the Discord now for VFriends, and I'm like, oh, I would love to go to VCon and everything. So that's on my list for sure. Ones that I would want.
For sure.
And
VCon
then
looked crazy. Like from what I saw people posting about VCon, it looked like such like an incredible event with like a lot of like socially influential people that like connected, and it was really cool to see like just his like idea and then like manifested. It was pretty cool.
it's so cool. He's like a visionary for sure. Can like see something and really make it happen, which is so cool. We actually Web3M, we're an NFT project as well. And the founders talked to Gary Vee and everything about the project. So that was really, really cool. I didn't get to be there personally, but even seeing the video, I was like, oh my God, like starstruck a little bit.
That's awesome for sure. Your project
Cool.
looks really cool too, like Web3M, right? You guys have like a marketplace going
Mhm.
on, or, like
Yeah,
that's
so we're
awesome.
building basically just an all-in-one marketing platform for Web2 channels, but also Web3 channels. So marketing tool there, platform, and then we're building a decentralized ad network to integrate into a bunch of channels on mainly Web3 and maybe Web2. So that's sort
That's
of like we're
interesting.
trying to kind of shape the future ecosystem of marketing to make it obviously with Web3 like more transparent, more fair for both marketers and also the creators on the other side and just advertiser business owners. So that's really our big mission. And then we're an NFT project. So we have really strong community so far. Mint date is to be announced just with the state of the market right now. We're waiting for things to stabilize a bit. But yeah, I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome. From what I've seen, like your videos, it sounds really interesting, and it's like a interesting part of the space to capture with like adding ads to it and creating the
Mhm.
platform for people. That seems like
Totally.
really interesting.
Yeah, totally. It's really, really exciting. My next question, I guess, is what is something that you do not like about the Web3 space?
Um, so I would say up to this point, I don't like the amount of like instant copycats myself. Like it's just kind of like hard
Mm,
to like you almost have to like filter through a lot of the projects. I feel like being NFTs for a while, I think everyone goes through the process of like getting an NFT that eventually just goes to zero, or like you're just left holding
yeah.
the bag, and it's like a whole process that I think keeps like outsiders from like entering the space. Is the amount of
Mhm.
like research you have to do basically before you find like actual legitimate like a community or a legitimate project, which I feel like it's kind of what you said earlier. It's all about like the people involved and like who's behind the project. That's why I like TikTok so much, because like people are just showing their face and being more like transparent about what they got going on.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I think TikTok's a good place to, yeah, just connect with people and other people in the space and learn, especially the time that we're at with NFTs still being very new. And obviously, yeah, a lot of copycats, a lot of just not great projects, unfortunately, because there's so many amazing projects, but there's also so many not amazing projects and people that are in it for the wrong reasons. So we definitely are in the era of having to do a lot of research before you're putting all your, if you're investing in a project or, anything like that. So yeah,
Totally
definitely
agree.
do your research, people, if you're looking into any sort of projects like that, because you don't want to get, rug pulls and everything like that is so real, sadly.
For sure. What are some of the parameters that you look for before investing? Like,
Definitely. Well, I really spend a lot of time in like the Discord communities and talk to other people. I think that's the best way, really. I mean, you can always do like the obvious research if it's, legitimate and everything, but I think like making sure the founders are good people. If the founders are people that are, already kind of known or have established themselves in some industry, and then the community is not full of like hype and robots and stuff. Like it's like not spammy at all. It's like real people are here. There's real value here. To me, I like to invest in projects that have utility behind it and actual value, as well as the artwork. It has to be cool, but I think like the utility and stuff is sort of how you can gauge if this can go long term. Like we're both like love VFriends. There's so much utility there that even if the market's down, he can give value. He can make this worth something because there's so much behind it. And obviously, Gary's is such a established person in multiple industries, really. So that's like a good way for me to
well,
gauge.
that's a great way to look at it. Definitely.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. So what would your kind of, I mean, I think everyone kind of has different ideas or it's hard to actually know, but what is your prediction on how Web3 will sort of shape the future? Like, do you think next year we're all living in the metaverse, we're all just like VR, or do you think it's going to be, certain technology is a part of our daily lives? Like, what's your prediction?
That's a good question. So I think Web3 is going to shift more like technology in the world in a way where we're going to be able to have more clear ownership of our digital assets. I think that's what like the biggest thing that smart contracts bring to the table is
Mhm.
kind of like this public way of like showing like what you own digitally. But I also think like what I find really interesting personally is the whole like how like Zuckerberg invested into Meta and he owns Oculus, like the VR headsets. And at this point, they're basically like transporting people into a metaverse. So it's
Mhm.
not necessarily like augmented, it's more like virtual reality. But I don't know if you've seen the newer version of like the VR Oculus. He actually has a camera where like you're gonna be able to see like your real life, kind of like your phone camera. And
Right.
I think that'll be a huge if they weren't able to combine that with NFTs as well as like digital fashion. I think it'll be really interesting. Like if people walk around with like a VR headset that like shows real life, or there's like events where like you
Right.
see actual people, but then you can see like maybe they are their NFT. Or I don't know if you've seen this website called Dress X,
No.
but it's really cool. They do augmented fashion, so they have all these like really cool designs, but like the clothes don't exist. Um,
Right.
and I could see that being like a huge sector, just kind of that would be huge. I think people love accessorizing and like expressing themselves through fashion, and it could also be like a solution to fast fashion, how people like buy clothes just for like a little bit and then just toss them. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where I see the space going.
That's really interesting. I hadn't heard about that. And that's like, you're so right. There's so much to that. It's sort of, instead of thinking of, I think people get scared of like virtual reality. Oh, we're going to be living in, a simulation or whatever. But that's sort of just adding on to life. It's like another layer. Like
Correct.
you're not somewhere else, but there's, other things in play. But that's super interesting. The fast fashion thing. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to look more into that because
No, for sure.
I
I
can
feel like
totally see that
I was
being
gonna
more
say
of the
like
future.
sorry, my bad.
So that's
Right.
okay.
I was gonna say like I feel like a lot of people already living in the metaverse in
Yeah.
terms of just like the almost like Web 2 kind, where like we're on Netflix or YouTube and we're constantly like seeing other people's stories. So it makes sense like we would just have like a more virtual immersive experience,
Mhm.
which would be cool. Like at the end of the day, we're limited as human beings, but if we can put on like a VR headset and now we're like flying around in a world or like we have superpowers, like I could definitely see the appeal to that over time.
Totally, I agree. It's funny how people are all scared of technology, but look at all around us. Like we already have so much more technology than anyone probably would have ever imagined. So any more is not gonna it's not gonna be detrimental. It's really a cool thing. I think it's a good thing, and yeah, we are limited. So
Evolution.
technology can help us. It's amazing. Evolution, yeah. It's really cool what to think about what it could be. Even in our lifetime, we've already experienced so much change, but it's nowhere near done, of course.
I totally agree. I think human creativity and the combination of like evolution of technology.
Mm.
There's actually a show on Netflix. It's called, I think, like the future of, and they
I was
show
watching that.
it's trippy. Yeah, like I feel like it's Black Mirror, but like the real life version, and it's
Yeah,
like the actual things going on behind like the science and stuff. It's like whoa.
totally. I know it's so crazy. It's cool to think about, and what you're saying about even smart contracts and everything. That is going to be a huge part of our future. It's so much easier. Yeah, like the ownership of things. Just it's so obvious that we're going in that direction. So it's funny. Obviously, as like creators in this space, we both, I'm sure, get so many comments of like, "Oh, it's a scam. This is stupid. Just little kids with like monkey pictures. This is dumb." It's like if you did a little bit of research, you would understand what this actually is, and like the technology behind it is absolutely going to be a part of daily life
No, for
in
sure.
the near future, probably. So it's super interesting. It'll be cool.
I definitely agree. I feel like people resist change always at first, like
Sure.
right away, right? But change is constant no matter what. Like we go through change in life, so being able to like, kind of like filter those voices out and just focusing on what you believe in, I think is like a characteristic of a lot of people in this space at this point. Like a lot of people are just kind of like, yeah, whatever, we're still building, and
Yeah.
it's cool to see.
It's super cool to see. Yeah, I love the community, especially here on TikTok. Obviously, Twitter's a really good space to be in with all this. But I feel like it's cool because everyone's, you know, whether you've been in the space for a month or years, everyone's really about just educating everyone and helping each other, supporting each other, like just collaborating. And yeah, I think that's something that's really cool. That's sort of, the whole point of this all.
I agree. I think it's almost like a big like university class that's like moving towards like the same direction, and it's cool to see everybody kind of like building.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's awesome. Well, yeah, that was all my questions, really. We kind of got through that quickly, but if there's anything else that you want to like add or talk about,
Putting me on the spot, I don't, nothing like, nothing really comes up. I feel like we covered a lot,
we
but it
did.
was really cool. I don't know if you want to like, plug in more with like what you guys have going on with like the 3M marketplace. I think,
Mhm.
to me, it's like really, really interesting, but,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. So obviously, like if you want, if you're interested, you could join our Discord right now. Everything's happening in
Okay.
there. We don't know when our mint date is exactly going to be, but we'll be updating. But yeah, we're working on building out the platform right now. So it could basically be all in one marketing platform just to kind of, we have an AI engine that can help with marketing strategies and everything inside of there. So we're hoping for it to just be a really good tool, especially for helping marketers and business owners in Web 2 that are having trouble sort of getting into Web 3 or aren't really experts, or intimidated. We're trying to make it like an accessible, sort of building the bridge between the two for people. Like there's a lot of people in our community that are like Web 3 experts and amazing. And then there's some people that are like, I'm a business owner and I'm in Web 2. I have no idea what's going on. So it's a really like beautiful community of people helping each other, like we were just talking about on here. So we're hoping that our platform can really help with that too, just helping people bridge the gap there and get into Web 3 because there's so much opportunity for advertising there, especially, anytime there's a new platform, a new place to market, it's huge. So there's
No,
lots of opportunity there. We're just trying to get people in it.
that's huge. No, for sure. I think bridging people from Web 2 to Web 3 is like a huge service. So, like the best place to find out more and to look into will be, you'd say, like your Discord. You guys have like
Yes.
Twitter Spaces, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, we got Twitter, so you can check us out on Twitter. Like Web3M, Web3 Marketing Movement is what it really stands for, and then our Discord's linked there in my bio too. So yeah,
Awesome. That's great. Great. Good to know. I'll
cool.
definitely check you guys out on Discord.
Thanks. Yeah, of course. So maybe I'll see you in the Discord. Thank you so much for coming on and being a guest
Sounds
here.
good.
This was such an awesome interview.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'll definitely be on the Discord.
Yes, sounds good. Have a great day.
Awesome. You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.